Is it? It might be right now.
No, it should say
No?
that you started
It just
recording.
says you're recording.
Oh, okay. Great. All right. And again, this is just for our record so that you can come back and look at this. All right. So let me start with this. Oh, that was weird. Did you guys hear that? Okay. Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you. Do you see a PowerPoint presentation?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, great. So I want to meet with you also, not just to put a name to a face, but I wanted you to be able to understand this project so that you don't feel overwhelmed and you get a good idea at the end what you are going to need to do. Now, I've given you a lot of information in writing, but as you know, writing can be interpreted differently in some cases, or you might not read everything that you need to. So by me taking this time to meet with you to show you the expectations, not only does it guarantee me that you know what you're doing, but it also enables you to have the expectations that I'm putting forth, because this project, I don't want it to look like a school project. I literally want this to look like a project that you would give to a restaurant owner. And the reason why you're working as a team in some aspects of this, it's because back in the day, in chapter 3, we had a chapter on team communication. And we also did a chapter on interpersonal skills. So this project allows me to see your ability to work as a team, and it also enables me to see your you putting forth all those different things that you were looking at and reading about back in those different chapters. So there's 5 things that you're going to need to do as a team, and then once you do those 5 things, this is an independent project. And then you'll figure out these 5 things. And then on week 15, that's the week that this is due, what you'll do is you'll meet one more time with your team and you will make sure that everybody followed the 5 things that you need to do, which I'm going to explain in just a moment. So you're basically just having each other's back, so to speak, so that you know that people on your team are doing what they should be doing and you're setting them straight. All right, so with that said, I'm gonna take a sip of water. Again, my sincerest apologies for my voice not working out. Okay. Okay. All right. So because I'm looking at this on a side screen and I can't see it in front of me, I can just see all your faces. Do you see where it says team elements for the project? Okay, great. So the 5 things that you and your team need to do is you need to make sure that you all have the same cover slide. And this cover slide is going to be basically the brand of your consulting company. And this brand for your consulting company is going to, like I said, be consistent for everybody. And so this cover slide is not like a cover page. It won't have your name on it. It won't have your semester on it, the date on it. It will literally just be the slide show for your the slide for your company that indicates your company name, your logo, and your slogan. The next thing that you and your team members are going to need to do is you're going to need to have the same feel and brand of the slide deck. So your slide deck is going to need to have the same background. It's going to need to have the same colors, the same fonts, the same font sizes. It's going to have the same video recording placements. It can be varied a little bit there, but at least the same size. And it needs to look consistent in that sense. However, everybody on your team is going to be using a different are going to be reviewing a different restaurant. So your images should be different. Your things that you're writing about, or that the different um, reviews obviously will be different, and the ideas that you come up with. So your 3 strengths, your 3 weaknesses, your 3 opportunities, and your 3 threats will be different from everybody else's on the team. It's just the feel and vibe of your slide deck. Now, the third thing, and this goes to what you did last week, you came up with 5 ideas for your company background. And now what you're going to do is you're going to meet with your team and you're going to figure out of all of your ideas, figure out 7 to 10 of those ideas. And these ideas are going to make your consulting company appear to be credible, trustworthy, experienced, knowledgeable, all those different things. And how I look at it is like this. If you all can take this project and make me and others in your class believe that you are an actual consulting company and that you legit reviewed your restaurant by looking at the strengths and weaknesses from the reviews, coming up with strategies for opportunities and threats, then I know that when you're in the real world and you're not in a classroom and you're either on a job interview or you're giving presentations on behalf of a company, that you'd be able to present yourself in a professional manner. And that's the objective of the course, is being able to write professionally and speak professionally and conduct yourself effectively when you're dealing with communication in the workplace. So that's what this project enables me to do. Now, hopefully, because this project allows you to pick a restaurant, hopefully the restaurant that you pick is something that you're interested in, because you want to have some sense of, I guess you could say, conviction in how you present it, so that you show interest and passion. Because if you have a lack of interest or a lack of what you're of enthusiasm or passion on what you're presenting, or positive attitude, that's going to come across in how convincing you are. So that's one of the things that I look at. So, like, for example, if you ever come to me for a letter of recommendation, this project allows me to see your ability to work with others. This project allows me to see how you present yourself in your own brand. It allows me to see how you write, how you speak, how you are in terms of critical thinking and attention to detail, all those things. So this project allows me to have that insight on you as well. All right, the fourth thing, each of you are going to have a memorable takeaway. And this memorable takeaway is something that you are going to be talking about at the conclusion of your presentation. And it's something that the book doesn't really emphasize as much as probably it should, but I'm going to kind of drill it into your minds that if you want your presentation to be memorable, you need to do something to keep your name or your company name, your slogan, or whatever it is that you want them to remember about you fresh in their minds. So you leave something with them. So you should do this not only in a project like this, but you should be doing this or thinking about a takeaway that you can leave with your audience when you're doing anything, even a job interview or a presentation on behalf of a company. For example, if you're going to be on a job interview and you want to separate yourself from your competition, and as you know, when you start looking for a real job, like a job using your degree, it's going to be competitive. And if you can set yourself apart from your competition, that will give you an advantage. So leaving something with your interviewer, and it could be something like a contact card that you create that has your name and your email and your phone number, so that is in their hand at the end of their presentation, or a hard copy of your resume that's on good resume paper, or having some kind of a QR code that's linked to maybe an infographic on the qualifications of your skills and your experience and your education. Those are little things that if you leave them as a memorable takeaway after a presentation or after even an interview, that would be something that would set you apart from, again, your competition. So just good to get in the habit of a memorable takeaway. Now, I was just giving some ideas for some takeaways that, when you're in the real world. In our virtual world, money is no cost, and the sky's the limit on your creativity. So in this course and for this project, you're going to be coming up with some creative, memorable takeaways for your team that you're going to leave behind that has your contact information. That would be your company name, your logo, your slogan, your website, your phone number, email address, whatever it might be. And you're going to be giving these, which I'll show you in just a moment, and you're going to be mentioning them at the end of your presentation. And then the last thing, and even though I have optional here for number 5, I really would like each team to do this, and that is to have the same format for the SWOT analysis chart. It just gives a real smooth sense of cohesiveness in your team if everybody has the same format for the SWOT analysis instead of everybody just doing their own version of a SWOT analysis chart. Now, like I was mentioning before, this when it deals with your content, if you do this SWOT analysis chart and the format and share it with the team members, you're going to have your own 3 strengths, your own 3 weaknesses, your own 3 opportunities, and your own 3 threats. Those would not be consistent among the team. It's literally just the format. So I'm going to show you some examples. So after those 5 things are done and determined with your team, you are free to just go to town and get this done and not have to worry about relying on any team members. Now, if your team members are slow to figure out these ideas or these points, then you can still work ahead and then do these 5 things after the fact. I'm going to have for week 14, that's your first team work week or your first work week on this project, where you have nothing due except for working on this project, where everyone is going to be submitting your 7 to 10 facts as well as your cover slide and your takeaway items. So this will be able to be seen by me in advance, so I know that you have everything covered, and I'm just basically making sure that you're on the right track. And then, like I said, in week 15, which is your second week where you're just doing this project, you'll be meeting with your team one last time to make sure everybody followed the directions of these 5 things. So in essence, you will have 2 full weeks to worry about making this presentation and your formal outline as professional as possible without any excuses of not having time to do this. So I basically have front-loaded this course to the extent that you have 2 weeks to just solely focus on the project, which demonstrates all the things that you've learned throughout the semester. Does that make sense? Okay. So moving on to the cover slide. Does everybody see the slide that says cover slide? Just making sure. Okay. So as I said, this is not going to look like a school project. This is going to look like something that you would literally give to a restaurant owner. You'll have no mention of the course, the date, your name, anything like that. And it sets the tone of the professionalism of your consulting company. So here's an example of a consulting company from a previous semester called Everybody Eats. And Everybody Eats Consulting, you can see their logo, and then you can see their tagline or their slogan where it says, making impressions one recommendation or one restaurant at a time. And then what they decided to do to make their cover slide look more professional is they added an image. And this image here is allowing them to, again, set the tone and brand of their consulting company. And they did that by going to Google and going under Google Images and typing like restaurant interiors, and a whole bunch of things pop up as a result. So let me just give an example. So if you type something like restaurant interiors, and then you click on images, were you able to see me do that? Okay, good. You can see that they have all these different options. So if you're looking for images in restaurants that are modern or rustic or cafe oriented or casual or fine dining, luxury, elegant, traditional, and so on, you can find different images that you might want to use, not only on your slide deck for your cover slide, but also for your images that you have within your presentation itself. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so here's another example of Crossroads Consultancy. This is a consulting group from a team project a couple of years ago, and their slogan is "At a crossroads, we make tough decisions." And this in itself looks just like a PowerPoint background, but they tried to make it look nice and professional and simple. Now, this last example that I'm showing you is called Elegant Eats. And their slogan is enhancing your eating experience. This company decided that they would have their, they would focus solely on fine dining, upper high level or upper level dining experiences where you can see the wine on the table, you can see seafood on the table as well on a platter, and they wanted to have that more elegant feel to their PowerPoint. Now, if you look at that arrow going to the left corner, it says myfreeppt.com. They actually found this background doing a Google search on free PowerPoint backgrounds. So instead of that Everybody Eats that created their own elegant background or their own background that has images, they actually found this slideshow or the slide background, the slide deck format using my free PPT. All right. When it comes to the same feel and brand of the slide deck, as I mentioned, you're going to be using the same. Yes.
I can see your screen.
Oh, crud. Again. And that might happen. Thank you for telling me because, like I said, this is kind of new. I usually use Google Meets and not this Team Viewer. Let's see. Okay. Do you see my slide deck? No? Okay, hold on. Oh, wait, maybe you can't. Sorry. Hold on a second. Do you see the slide deck now? Did you see the slide deck? Can you see it?
No.
Try one more time. Okay, I think.
Yes.
Okay, do you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna put it in play mode. I'm just gonna put it in this mode so that I don't have to worry about going out of the PowerPoint slideshow mode and so on. All right, so I'm gonna go back to the slide. All right, so you can see here the slide deck and you can see I have it like a storyboard and you can see the cover slide at the beginning, and then you see this person on each slide that's beige, and all the titles look the same in font and format and placement, and her images, the way they look, and where she is placed on the screen. Now you can imagine that all of our team members have the same look and feel. This way, if somebody went to you to do their restaurant review or someone else on your team, they would get the same product. So you have that same quality and that same product. So I'm going to go into the actual example to get a little bit more detail. So do you see the slide that says introduction? Great. So what you're going to notice is you are going to notice that she has 3 introduction slides. Here's 1, here's 2, and here's 3. And each of these introduction slides have a different image. And so this first slide, you can see from her image that there's a waiter, and there's these ladies, and they're eating, and they're all seeming to be having a good time. And this is what the speaker had to say.
Picture yourself leaving your favorite restaurant. You just indulged in a delicious 3-course meal. Your server offered special accommodations, and the bill did not break the bank. Are you going to leave an online review about your positive experience? Maybe you will, but you probably will not.
Hey, did everybody hear that? So if you look at the play bar, you can see that that took 19.29 seconds to say with that image. Now the next image that she has, next introduction slide that she has, you can see a person eating that seems a little bit unhappy. You can see the waiter, he's in a defensive mode with his hands up like this. And let's see what she has to say to this.
Now consider if your experience was reversed. Your food was overcooked, service was rude, and you really do not want to leave that extra tip. Are you going to leave an online review about your negative experience? There's a good chance you will, and the same can be said about most restaurant goers across the country.
All right, so this clip was, again, 19.67 seconds. So your first slide was about 20 seconds, the second slide is about 20 seconds, and now her last introduction slide, it shows somebody holding a phone, literally with reviews on it. And here's what she says.
And while you cannot count on the majority of consumers with positive experiences sharing a 5-star review, you can count on the majority of first-time customers checking the restaurant reviews before dining. A single negative review can convince them to avoid your restaurant, making it vital to monitor and manage online reviews.
So this slide is 20.67 seconds. So between the 3 introduction slides, it took her 1 minute, but she had 3 images drawing her audience in instead of just looking at one slide for 1 whole minute with a bunch of pictures on it or just one image itself. So the point that I'm trying to make is I want you to think differently about this PowerPoint or this presentation. I want you to think more slides with less words is better than having like so much on one slide each. So it's better to have more slides with smaller amounts of information than a slide that has too much information. This is what's really going to attract your audience to listen to what you have to say. So again, don't worry about how many slides that you have. Just worry about the content and the quality, and try to get your images to match what you're saying so that it complements what you're saying. This PowerPoint is going to have 0 bullet points. I know you're used to having a PowerPoint presentation with bullet points. This is just going to have your your slide recording and images, not to have bullet points. Your audience would not be able to know what you're talking about unless you literally, they played it and they watched it in a video format. So looking at this image, the slide recording, you're going to learn about this next week. Next week, you're going to be doing your own slide recordings. You're going to give me a practice slide with two practice slides so that I can be assured that you know what you're doing. You're going to be using a PowerPoint program by actually using the program itself that you get free through UWG. So I don't know if you already have this software, but if you don't, you're going to be downloading it. It's free software to the University of West Georgia students. You can literally put it on 5 of your devices, and it's the literal program. And because it's 365, it has the most up-to-date versions of this software. So you're not going to be using like an online version of PowerPoint. You're literally going to be using the PowerPoint program. When you do that, you're going to see that there's an option called the Record tab. And I give you all the directions on how to do that. But look here on the screen, my menu bar. This Record tab allows you to make your slide recordings. And this is for both Mac users and PC users. And down here where it says click to add notes on this, like on a normal PowerPoint slide, click to add notes. If you add notes there, that will literally work as a teleprompter, which is really cool. And I'm going to show you that in just a moment, but let me go a little deeper with this. So this slide recording, when you do this, when you do your recording, it's going to turn out to be like a small thumbnail in the corner. What you're going to do is you're going to end up taking that slide recording, you're going to move it because it's going to look similar to this. And you're going to end up having to move it, make it at least 3 by 5 so that it's large. You want to make sure you pull it by the handles so you don't stretch your image out. You don't want to make yourself look distorted. And then you don't have to do what this team did. They used most of their body. But if you double click on the video frame, you get the video format toolbar. And there's the crop function here. And you can literally crop your image. So instead of having your full torso, you can just have this much of your body instead. Another thing that you're going to notice is that she has a neutral background and that the sides are cropped. So if you were looking at me, I would crop myself so that all the stuff in my background wouldn't be there. And I also would be in a neutral spot where I wouldn't have stuff behind me. So that's that. To give an example, I don't have this example, hold on. Okay, I'll give a different example after, but you definitely need to make sure that you get familiar with this video format to crop that. You can also make different styles. So if you wanted to like have your image like in a circle, but this means that your whole team would need to do that as well. But there are these different ways to present your slide recordings as well. But you want to be consistent with your team. Okay. Great. I'm going to show you a couple more things before I show you this record tab. So as you go through the slides, you see her images and how her images, hopefully if you were watching it, you would see how it complements what she's saying. But when you get to the literal restaurant that she's making recommendations for, you'll see that she has literal, the actual reviews that were using her snipping tool. So the snipping tool is an app that you find within your Windows program, or some Mac users have to use like a screenshot type, I don't know what it is. It's like where they do the screen, they can do a screenshot. But with the snipping tool, basically it looks like this. You hit new and it will like just snip parts of your screen that you wanted to. So if you just wanted, I'm just snipping part of it. I didn't do it all, but that's how you would do it. And then what this team did was in order to make it look consistent, they created this white box that they did under insert shapes. So they all had white boxes, and then they put their reviews on top of the white box. So it looked professional. And it takes a little bit of time, but it's that whole professionalism that you should be going for as well. And that's one of the reasons why I try to give you a lot of time to focus on this. So her 3 strengths have a slide. Her 3 weaknesses have a slide with the individual reviews. And if you look at how long it takes her to talk about it, this is 11.52 seconds. So it's not long. She just gives the gist of the different weaknesses. This one here, she spent a little bit more time, like 45 seconds on this slide, because she kind of tied everything in. Then her opportunities, she has images for the opportunities. And in this case, you can see she's got a tablet. So maybe that's an opportunity for the wait staff. Maybe it's an opportunity for the customers. Here's another opportunity. Here's another opportunity. So these images complement the actual words that she's speaking. The threats, here's a threat of a bad review. Obviously, that's a threat to a business. Here's you can see a payment, some form of payment. And then this was done during COVID, so that's why she has this as a threat. But then once she has her 3 strengths, 3 weaknesses, 3 opportunities, and 3 threats, she then creates a chart. And now this is a chart that I was telling you about. So if you want, you and your team can come up with the format of the chart. But the actual bullet points that you see or the different content that you see, the 3 things in each area, those are individual. So they should not be copied. They would be specific to your own restaurant. Now, every slide needs a slide recording. This particular one, I allow for an audio only, but it's the only slide. Every other slide has to have a visual of you with a slide recording. This one here, she has the audio because she made her SWOT analysis large. If you don't have, if your SWOT analysis format allows you to have a video, I'd prefer that. And I'll show you some examples of that. But here's what she says. It's just a quick slide narration where it's just letting your audience or your restaurant owner know that he can share the strengths and weaknesses, opportunities and threats with their management and with the employees so that they're aware of things that they can do.
I know a lot of information has been presented in a short amount of time. To simplify the points I have made, I have provided a visual chart with an overview of Beni Hibachi Japanese Grill's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
And that's it. So 15 seconds. And then the last parts of her presentation include a conclusion. And she has 4 different slides for her conclusion. And then here's their takeaway item. And everybody on the team has the same takeaway item. And that's the presentation. So let me show you quickly about this record thing. And I'm going to have to change my screen for this. Oh, actually, let me do this. Hold on one second. Because of the fact that I'm presenting and using my camera, I can't show you my camera, but I'm going to show you this particular slide. And the reason why I'm showing you this particular slide is because the student actually has notes that she included. Okay, so let me get out of full screen. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. I just stopped sharing everything with you. Hold on. Okay, do you see the slide with the girl? Okay, thank you. All right, so I'm going to get out of this full screen. So from current slide, and now I have to share my screen differently. Okay, do you see the slide? And then do you see at the top where it's like recording? I think I can see myself, so you can see it as well. So this is what it looks like when you use the record function. It's so cool. So it allows you to see your slide, and then this is actually recording you. when you hit the record button. And then up here, you see those notes? That's where it says click to add notes. This is literally a teleprompter so that you're looking at your camera as much as possible and not just your screen. Because if you look just at your screen, like right now, I don't know if you can see me. Can you see me? Okay, if you can. Looking at my screen, it doesn't look like I'm looking at my audience. You literally have to look at your camera lens. So this is what that girl wrote for her notes, which is really kind of cool. Okay, so I got to share it differently with you. So that was just kind of giving you an idea about the teleprompter. But what I do want you to think about or pay attention to is always look up at your camera, not just the screen. Some people, they just look at their screen, but you have to look at your camera lens. So what's nice about if you put your notes of what you're going to say in the click to add notes, it's right up here at the top, which is really great. So bottom line with what you're going to be doing is you want to make sure that you crop your video frames so that you remove any of the background. So, and you're in a neutral location. You want to make sure that your lighting is good. If your lighting is not good, points will be deducted. So you want to make sure that you do something like put a lamp in front of your computer. You can put a light off to the side. If you have lighting overhead, like I have right this moment, you can see there's like a lot of glare, like on my face, especially wearing glasses. So you want to try to avoid glare if you can, but it's better if you have lighting right in front of your computer. That will help you. You want to use your snipping tool. You will need to have the actual reviews snipped. It's not something that's optional, that's something that's required. And then don't be afraid to use more slides. You want to have as many slides as needed in order to tell your story and curate your story. And then last but not least, and this is something that I have in the directions, but I want to make sure you're aware of it explicitly. This is a business professional presentation, so you have to dress professionally. That means that, ladies, you need to make sure that you have clothing that's not too low cut, makeup that looks nice, hair that looks nice, nothing that's in your eyes, so that you look professional in that sense, not too much crazy jewelry, whatever it might be. And then for guys, you're gonna need to wear a dress shirt or a button-down shirt, and you can wear a button-down shirt with a tie or just a button-down shirt with a sport coat. You can do that. You can have a sport coat, dress shirt, and a tie if you want, but you do have to have a dress shirt and a jacket or a dress shirt and a tie. And you can wear at the bottom anything you want. You can have sweatpants and like slippers on, but for this part of your body, you want to make sure that you're dressed professionally. And you also want to make sure that you're using good posture and of course, looking right at your camera. All right, so when it comes to the 7 to 10 facts, the 7 to 10 facts, these are the same facts that you're using for everybody on the team. And I'm going to show you this slideshow. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Not that you can see that. Okay. And I'm going to show you what this one team did. This one team, do you see Dynamic Consulting Firm? Okay. After the team discussed the 5 elements that they're going to do, someone on the team went and created this and shared it with all the team members. So this is what their cover slide looked like. It has the logo, the name, the slogan. The next is the fonts. So they indicated what fonts you're going to use. They indicated that agreed upon facts. So that would be the 7 to 10 facts. In this case, their 7 to 10 facts were established in 2020 or 2003, that they're based out of Atlanta, Georgia. They use some quantitative information to make them sound more credible. So 85% of our consulting companies have experienced over 35% more revenue growth. They met on MySpace. They all wanted to make a change in the community, and they had passion for food and culture. All of the consultants had a background in at least one of the 5 major cuisines. And this team, what they did was they had everybody on the team pick a different ethnic restaurant. And then they even came up with a organization that they are part of to, again, try to emphasize their credibility and experience and trustworthiness. This was during COVID, so this was their takeaway item. It was a mask. That wouldn't be appropriate now. That was just because of the day and age. And then this was a SWOT analysis chart that the team wanted everybody to use in terms of format. So they shared this with everybody, and then each person on the team put their own bullet points. Their 3 strengths, 3 weaknesses, 3 opportunities, and 3 threats. So that's what this team ended up doing for their background, company background facts. So you want to make sure with those company background facts that you're creative on what inspired you to become a consulting company. You don't want to say, something that I had to do in a project in my college class. You want it to be creative so that you come across as being credible and convincing. Come up with hypothetical facts like winning awards, maybe being featured on food shows, helping previous clients. Like think of restaurants that you go to that you like their reward programs or other things. You can actually pretend that you created those reward programs or those ideas so that the business is now thriving and successful. And then again, it's all about emphasizing your credibility and your professionalism, and that's what I'm going to be looking for. So you want to make sure you sound as convincing as possible for these 7 to 10 facts. The memorable takeaway item, I'm going to show you some examples. This first one is Elegant Eats. Now, Elegant Eats, I told you, was a 5-star fine dining company. So notice they found a takeaway item that was dealing with elegance. They have like a marble bottle with gold top and bottom. And here's what he had to say.
As a gesture of our gratitude, we'd like to give you this free water bottle with our company name, logo, and slogan on it, and any contact information you may need for your convenience. Thank you again for choosing Elegant Eats.
And so, did you hear that? So you can see just, saying that this is an item and this is something that you're actually giving to your person that has your contact information. It's not a raffle. You're not selling this. This is literally your takeaway item that has your contact information. So after the presentation, they have something to remember you by. Here's the t-shirt that I told you about. Here's what she had to say.
Are you a proud Crossroads Consultancy client? Make sure you wear our complimentary t-shirt to let other food truck owners know. They might be at a crossroads of their own.
So just a little disclaimer here, because this was done back in the beginning of this project. At first, I allowed food trucks and fast food area restaurants, and then I changed it. So now it has to be a restaurant that has a wait staff and a restaurant that is not part of a national chain. So if you have a restaurant that's a national chain, you want to pick a different restaurant. Or if you have a restaurant that only has positive or negative reviews, you want to pick a different restaurant so that you can see both sides. And then last but not least is this company here.
Here at SPC, we have enjoyed consulting with your company. We hope we have given you some things to think about. Be sure to maintain good customer relations as they are your lifeblood. Be sure to look at your company's reviews at least weekly in order to see what you need to improve on. You can contact us with the information on the screen. And we've left you with a nice item to remember us by. Thank you.
And
From
on,
the SPC team.
and on another slide, they had the same bottle, but with the contact information on it as well. So how they found these information are these cool takeaway items. And what I recommend you do is have everybody on the team come up with an idea and then maybe pick like 2 to 3, or you can even have 4 of them, whatever, just, whatever it is, of these promotional items. So you would go to vistaprint.com, you would go to promotional products. You can see it over to the right, or I'm sorry, to the left, all the different categories. So you could have like a water bottle with your company name and a tote bag with a business card, or something like that has a presentation itself in it that you'd be giving away. You just need to make sure that you have a visual of your takeaway items on your screen for that promotional item. And then last but not least is your SWOT analysis chart. And as I mentioned to you, I have it optional, but I think that everybody should have the same format for your team, just individual content within that format, just because it makes your team look more cohesive. So here is the example I already showed you. Notice this is like the full page. That's why she just has an audio clip. But this team, they did a great job. And remember, it's just letting the restaurant owner know that this is a summary or like a visual highlighting the points that were already discussed.
Here is our SWOT analysis chart for your restaurant. This is just a visual aid to help you remember the points that we just talked about. As long as we can help you improve in these areas and focus on your real strengths, we believe we can really help your restaurant achieve more 5-star reviews.
And last but not least is this team. And they did a great job because it's full screen, like you can see it really easily, but they have their video right in the middle. And this is what she had to say.
Using a SWOT analysis chart, we can clearly see the high and low points regarding the company. Here are some points that we have discussed today, as well as others that we have been able to determine based off of further research of customer reviews.
Again, all the content is their own. It's just they share the format of the SWOT analysis. So what's going to happen is you all are going to create your presentation. You're going to have a formal outline, which I'm going to show you right now. This formal outline takes over for the written part. So you don't have to do an actual report or have to deal with formatting a report, but you will be writing in full sentences, basically transcripting your presentation. And you'll see some examples online. I think it's next week that you see that. But you'll go through and you're going to write out what you're going to say. And then that's easy for you to put in your notes. So you'll already have it. And you'll want to do this before your presentation and not after. So you know what you're going to say. Because if not, you're going to not sound confident. You're not going to sound convincing or persuasive. So she has all of her 3 strengths or 3 weaknesses, how she describes them, her 3 opportunities, and her 3 threats. And then she has the SWOT analysis chart that they came up with. And what she said, her narrative, probably like 15 seconds long. And then the conclusion, the contact information and describing, the takeaway item. And that's the formal outline. And it's actually worth 150 points. So it's a kind of a big deal. So you want to make sure that you do that correctly and that that's done right. And then the last thing I want to mention is then what you're going to end up doing. Find no, this last window. Yes. Okay. What's going to end up happening is that you all are going to send me your PowerPoint presentation. You're going to send me your PowerPoint presentation.
Hello, guys. And today I'm going to be presenting with.
Okay. You're going to send me your PowerPoint presentation slide. And then you're also going to send it to me as a video file, an MP4 file, which I'll show you how to do it really quickly. First of all, does anybody have a Mac in this class? Okay, so those of you that have a Mac, you might not be able to do this. So I'm going to have to actually convert it for you. But for all of you PC users, it's really easy to do, and I'll show you how easy it is. But you're going to send me this MP4 file, or I'm going to create your MP4 file, and I'm going to be putting it on my YouTube channel. It's going to be anonymous so that nobody will be able to look you up and see this presentation. You can see that my name is the owner of this content. And it just says consultant 1, 2, 3, 4, depending upon how it works alphabetically. And then you're going to go in. I don't know if you can hear my kids in the background. It's like bedtime. But I'm like, guys, I have to work. And I did this all backwards. I ended up having my first baby at 51 and my second baby at 52. So I have like a 3 and a 4-year-old. So I'm like always losing my mind. And if I'm always seeming to grade things like at 2 o'clock in the morning or early in the morning, it's because I usually spend time with them, put them to bed, then spend time with my husband, and then I finally get to do my work. So it's really busy for me. Sorry if that's distracting, but we're almost done. So just hang in there with me for a minute. Um, so what you're going to end up doing is you're going to end up going into 10 of these presentations. And this Grill and Grow Consulting or Tasteful Transformations and so on, those are the cover slides. So that's why it's important that you have a professional looking cover slide. I'm just going to go into this one randomly. And you can see here that there are 22 comments. And what happened is that everybody in the class will pick a different presentations, and you're going to go in and act as if you are the restaurant owner. And this gives feedback to the person doing the presentation. So that gives you some positive feedback. And it also enables you to see how other people did their presentations so that you know what you did really well or things that you maybe could have worked on based on the presentations that you've seen, because you will be doing you'll be doing a video critique where you're pointing out your own strengths and weaknesses. So that's what you're going to be doing in terms of the participation. So with that said, oh shoot, I have to share this one more time with you because I wanted to show you how easy it is to do this. Save it for you. Okay, so can you see the presentation again? Okay, what you're going to do in order to make it a video file, you can do it one of two ways. You could go into here, export as video, and then it would literally like export it for you. Or you can go into
Did she leave?
Yeah.
He's out of here. You're muted.
I think your microphone's off. Yeah, we can't hear you.
oh, I'm sorry. So what just happened is Dante, he's in this meeting right now. He set up a meeting with me and it literally like kicked me off your meeting to like have a meeting with him individually. It was so weird. And my phone started beeping and my computer started flashing. Okay, I'm so sorry. So I'm gonna show you this. I'm gonna let you guys go. Okay. So that's so crazy. Okay, so what you're gonna do is when you go into your slide and you go to File, and then you go to File Save As. Can you see this on your screen, File Save As? You can literally click down here and go to this MP4 video, and it'll save it as an MP4 file. That's like a video file. So you're able to do that. And that's how you'll send a copy of the video file to me. Again, PC or Mac users, I don't know if you'll be able to do this, but PC users can do it. And then the PowerPoint slide itself. So that is it. So I'm hoping that everything that we talked about makes you feel a little bit more confident on what you need to do. It should be a fun project. Hopefully, you like the restaurant that you picked so you can get like into it. Remember to always look at your camera screen or your actual camera lens, not just your screen. Make it look as professional as possible, even if it means a little more formatting. You have 2 weeks to do it, so don't wait till the last minute, please. And if you have any questions, I am here for you. So you can reach out to me, text, email, video chat like this. I am happy to help you. Next week, you're going to have the practice slides. You need to do that because if you don't, it's going to be almost like a sure shot that you're not going to do well on this project. So make sure you do that so I can see that you know how to do it and you know how to do it so that when it's actually due, you're not scrambling at the last minute. So does anyone have any questions? All right, I know I overwhelmed with a lot of, yes,
I have a question.
yes.
Just to clarify, as a group, we're just doing individual companies, restaurants.
Yeah, so you have one consulting company with like 5 or 6 people on the team. And then or 6 to 7 people, 5 to 7 people on the team. And each person on that team has their own restaurant that they're reviewing. So you're just acting like your colleagues. You have your own restaurants, but you work for the same company. So you have to have the same brand of your consulting company. Does that answer your question? Okay, great. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me. But I'm looking forward to seeing your final projects and making this as professional as possible. And thank you for your time. And if you need me, I'm here for you.
Thank you.
All right, everyone, have a great night and thank you again.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Bye.
Take care.